Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'll hold up mine.
Okay, Dave, I do have the.
So my 9 members, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do roll call. Go ahead and do this, Dan. Or, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, for what? Roll call. Okay, gotcha. Chairman Jen Chambers, Lister County Public Works.
Judith M. Vincent, board member.
Rob McDonough, board member from the Wolf Creek area.
Stacy Barch, board member.
Christian Leonard, Lewis Clark County Noxious Weed Division Supervisor.
Jade Wills, Lewis and Clark County Weed Division Admin.
Monte Miles, board member.
And I'm Dave Birch, I'm chair from West Valley here. I want to introduce Monte before we go to Candace real quick. Just so she knows who he is. Monte's our new, well, you should know, I guess. Monte's our newest board member. You're taking over Dave Lewis's position, I believe, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, no, Monte is actually filling the Lincoln seat. That is the only seat that we actually had open. So even though he is not in Lincoln,
Right,
there's no rules in the bylaw that,
right.
yeah, so technically
So-
it is.
so-
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool. Okay, and then Candace.
Candace, I am here. I had a Parks Board meeting that I just got out of, so. Oop. Yeah, okay.
Okay, we heard you. Thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
So we kind of did the introductions. Glad to have you on board. So what about Dave Lewis's spot then? Are we still?
Shelley,
Oh, Shelley's doing it.
yes,
That's right.
Shelley filled Dave Lewis's spot.
Yep, that's right. My bad. Okay. Public comment, there is one. I passed that one. Action item, the 2025 HBIA show, home show.
Great, so, we are asking the board, permission to submit the commitment form for the 2025 home show. It is going to be held on March 15th and 16th of 2025. What we are asking for is that approval to submit the commitment form to do this. And then we'd also like, last year we had 4 spots that we paid for. At $650 a spot, that came to $2,600 total to have the education trailer set up there. I was able to tentatively reserve the education trailer. If you guys decide you don't want it, I can always cancel that reservation with the Southwest area. But we would also like permission to do the 4 booths again. They do not have rates set. They said it may go up a tiny bit, but not anything substantial. So what staff is asking is for us to submit this commitment form for the home show, plus authorization for 4 booths and the funding for that, so that we can have the education trailer at the home show again.
Any comments, questions? I guess from me being there, I'll go first, but I thought it was worthwhile having that education trailer there.
Yeah.
It's pretty showy and I think people went in and looked around and I think it was full of some good information. I would say we should do that again, but
I agree. I think it was great, so.
so do we have a motion to accept that from the
I make a motion to accept that.
Second.
motion's been accepted and approved, seconds approved. So all in favor, say aye.
I
All opposed? Motion passed. Good. Yeah, that was a pretty good spot we had too.
It was, and, that's, I mean, a request for the same spot. I thought that worked out very well, so we had plenty of room and good traffic flow too.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So the fund 297, education banners, keep it on.
Okay, so banners and retractable banners and the new banner. We still have this banner, but we're doing a new banner that is gonna look something like this.
Okay.
We're gonna take off all this stuff. We're in the very beginning of doing this, and this probably will take 3 or 4 shots to get this right. But this would be this is our new logo. This is what I put up there because that's what I had along with this, and then the silent invaders here, but we'll take all this down except for that. Unless there's a reason to leave it, and that's up for discussion. We would also, Jay, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, so I am going to contact Betsy. She is, what is her title?
Public information.
Public Information Officer. I'm gonna see if she can make this a QR code for our website. And then, also on our website, I want to link our Facebook page. And so my thought is to see if she can, go ahead and make us a QR code that we could put on there as well. And, so that'll be ours. And then, like Judith Ann said, get rid of these affiliating partners. And then, we had kind of discussed, putting our phone number and our address down at the bottom down there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then, Judith Ann, do you wanna talk about?
Okay, so now we're in the process of thinking about actually, before I go there, I'm gonna come here. So this was the banner that I did to put on the trailer for the rodeo parade. And it's very colorful and bright. So, I don't know if we want to use some of this with this, but this is a poster that we always use that I would like to stick on the 33 by 83 retractable banner. So all we had to do was just pull these out and then it's got all this, oh, wait a minute, that's not the same.
Yeah, we've handed out a lot of these
Yeah.
posters.
Yeah.
Right,
And so, yeah,
Oh,
so this
yeah.
is that, for some reason, the screen will not let me
Yeah.
zoom out even more, but,
so
we had
it
talked to
would
get,
all come out, and then we'd put our logo on it. Was the logo on? Logo isn't on it.
it wasn't, but that's what I was thinking is that we should take all of that bottom stuff off of this one as well and put our logo, QR code and information
Right.
again at the bottom of this.
You may wanna, this project was made possible by the funding received by all of those.
I was
Sorry.
already going to check into copyright stuff just to
Okay.
make sure.
That's probably a good idea.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, just
And-
check with Jasmine or
Mhm.
with Greta, cause
Yeah,
It's
and we
all
can
through
always
MDA.
leave that and add, our contact stuff here, so.
That's.
I mean, we
that's my only
could
suggestion.
leave that if they wanted it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah,
I get,
no, I was just saying, I was just saying, be careful, just check in, we'll check in.
Right, right.
that stuff on the bottom, if those entities want to contribute something. I mean, you could send them out a note saying, we're gonna do this. New promotional stuff for us. If you guys want to contribute, we'll be happy to put your name on there and show them as a contributing partner. That way you get some money coming in to help with it if they want to do that.
Okay.
I mean, that's what these guys did. That's why they're on there.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, and and I agree with that. I just was starting, so I
Sure.
didn't know what the rules and
Yeah.
regulations
And one
were.
other thing, those QR codes are simple.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah.
great, okay.
Yeah, they're easy.
Sounds
And
good.
then-
So you want to do that one in this, and then the,
Right,
all the noxious weeds?
right.
Okay. I think those would be good to have versus trying to keep posters together.
Well,
Rob,
yeah,
Are all the plant this ones, are they? Chinook? Can they last through a Chinook?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
I
it
would
warms up
imagine
and
that
cools
they're-
off and
yeah,
sometimes those, like I saw something of maple. And I've tried those and they freeze down and they come up this high the next day and then they do the same thing.
gotcha. I would assume, which we can look into this too. But I believe that was put together by Department of Ag for Montana.
probably the education committee,
Yeah,
education campaign,
yeah,
even though I don't see their logo on there.
I don't either.
But I would talk to Greta. She'll
Okay.
know.
Sounds good.
And then this would be similar to what the other retractable banner would be,
and this one was actually done for the Montana, for Chantel Martin, is that?
Or when she did that, when she
Right.
did this, yeah.
So can we leave the education on that, or do we have to talk to somebody about that?
We'll,
let's check it.
we'll talk, I believe Jasmine's sort of the one that's
Right.
running the ship on that now, so we can look into there, but I do like the idea of putting, having a banner with all the state listed noxious weeds and a picture with them, you know, which we might be able to talk with Becky Kington too, and sort of use the pictures that we have in our, weed ID booklets. You know what I mean, and sort of use those for all that, you know, but make a banner
Mhm.
with them instead. I think that would be a good idea, but. So I guess what I'm saying is something similar to this, but more maybe with. Maybe work with Becky Kington a little bit, so that way we can use some of those pictures. And do all. What, I don't know, 42 of them now, or. Still 30. I lose track with all the ones that we keep adding. But anyways, I think that would be good. Something like that would be good. A banner with some of the pictures. I know for the times we don't have the trailer that has them
Yeah.
all
Right.
through it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now the next thought is. The next thought is, do we need to do something with just the Lewis and Clark County weeds on it?
That's, I was going to mention, I think if we have room at the bottom of like this one with all the state listed, then we could add
Lewis and Clark
Yeah,
County,
the
okay,
Lewis and Clark County 5, or the other thing is we could always revise like. Well, I'm sorry, it's so zoomed in, but this very top one, and we could even. Potentially make this smaller or get rid of it or whatever and put our 5. County
Like an
listed.
In the
excerpt.
banner.
An
yeah.
excerpt.
Exactly, yeah, so.
so I don't know how many pictures are in that, and maybe what we need to do is transpose. Well, okay,
I think we have a good idea of what the workings, what we want
Right.
to do, and I think
Okay.
that'll work good.
okay.
I have a question, how much are those?
The banners are, I can't, oh, wait a minute, let me look that one thing before I do that. Jade and I were talking about maybe we put a group together that'll help do this
Hmm.
with somebody, if somebody wants to help me do this, or
Subcommittee.
committee, yeah. So, let me see, banners. I think we talked about this, but I'm not sure. I did have the prices on them.
Well, I was just thinking that they're not
I think they're somewhere around $200,
Okay.
250, between 2 and 250 is what I remember,
Mhm.
but I'm not.
I was just thinking that we should maybe have one for Lewis and Clark County Weed District. So when we don't have the trailer,
Mhm.
we go to something else, we can have one that shows who we are. Instead of that one that we've got up, that big one.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. sorry,
This
I
is
can't
the,
see this
yeah,
here.
it's, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
This
I
is,
do have these though in your packet.
yeah, these are in the packet. This is
Oh,
to
yeah.
replace the Lewis and Clark Weed District.
Okay.
This is the big banner, which was essentially 3 feet by 10 feet.
Right,
Oh, you're doing the whole
Essentially.
banner that.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be the that's actually the big banner.
Okay,
And then what Judith Ann was talking about is the plant this,
right,
not that, as the roll
gotcha.
and the noxious weed.
Okay.
State listed noxious weed.
Never mind,
So,
I'm
yeah,
good with that.
but other than that, I think. Good job, Judith Ann.
but it's all in a work in progress.
Yeah, it'll be done. We'll have it done by March. I bet you have.
So-
it.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to do a subcommittee?
I would encourage you guys to do that.
Yes.
Anybody want to volunteer to be on that subcommittee? Monty?
Me.
I'll volunteer.
Yay, thank you, Monty.
So if you guys would like to work and, work with Action Print and kind of, and I'm happy to help as well.
Mhm.
We can work
Okay.
together. And then I think,
Is that a what?
I don't know if the board is comfortable with
No, it's on
authorizing
our
from
trailer.
Fund 297, maybe not to exceed $1,000 for the purchase of banners, or when they come back with a quote. and
Yeah,
then
why don't
can
we
bring
just
that
come back
fund.
with a quote?
Okay.
So then that way we're
Okay.
what we're dealing with.
My thought is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not doing anything before we do the home show per se that we know about.
Correct. That is.
So we've got from now until February.
Yeah.
To do it, but I'd like to start sooner than later.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think if you guys can get together. Yeah. Also ask the other board members, if the ones that aren't here, if they want to be on it, they're more than welcome to.
Great.
If we get three or four of you on there, that'd be
Mhm.
perfect, so.
Okay, well,
And
whatever.
I'll be here to help too.
Okay. And this banner is actually what worked really good for the front of the truck. Because we had, and I'll get into this later, but we had 2 floats at Lincoln. So, it worked really good.
Okay. Any other board discussion on suggested items for?
Mr. Chair, this summer, we've spent a lot of time fixing rentals. And I'm not aware how old they are. But I've been here for 6 years now. And I think they were here quite a bit of time before I got here. The only reason why I'm saying this is because one of the tanks cracked
Yep.
while it was being rented. And a lot of the tanks are in the same shape. I assume they were all bought during a similar time. Or where they got them, they could have been slightly used when they got them, they were sort of thrown together as a great resource for people in the county, and they're used all the time. If it wasn't windy and it wasn't rainy or it wasn't dry, they were going out, so there wasn't a whole lot this year, but, there was multiple weekends where we didn't have anything. Like people were calling and there wasn't,
And those are
there
just
was
little-
nothing left for them to take. They had to wait. And we even had people coming in during the week to get them because they were gone on weekends.
Those
So
are just little slide-in sprayers.
there's the 2 slide-in sprayers. Those ones are actually in the better shape. The trailers, it's the trailers that we have. They need to be rewired for lights, for safety. Tanks need to be replaced. Other than that, I mean, some of the boards, the trailers need a little bit of loving too. I replaced two jacks this summer already on them. So I was just curious, just a thought. We don't have to discuss it now or make a motion now or anything, but and I could certainly try to come up with some numbers.
Why don't you do that?
I can do that.
I guess
but-
I would inventory them and see what we
Yeah,
actually need.
well, there's at least 5 trailers that probably should have new tanks on them.
Okay.
Which is gonna mean different, different cradles and
Sure.
all that stuff to go with it, so, but I can certainly come up with a cost for you guys for that, but they're used a lot, I mean, but I mean, if we don't refurbish them in some shape or form.
Well, we really don't want them going out if they're not safe.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If we don't refurbish them, I don't feel comfortable with them going on another season. I limped most of them along. One of them has a cracked tank. That has to be replaced. But I thought if we we're gonna do them, let's refurbish them all, get them all to the same level.
What size tanks are they?
Well, that's the other thing. They all vary. They vary from 150 gallons to 225 gallons. But they're, the 225 gallon one is pretty popular. Which is the one I think that broke. So.
Is that boom sprayers on it?
Yep, they have the boomless sprayers. Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I have, you know what I mean? It's just, they just need to have new tanks on them. I'd like to put better tanks on them
Update.
that are easy, well, just like we have to replace the mag tanks and
Yeah.
all that stuff. They're great. They're pretty indestructible when they're new, but after probably 20 years worth of sun on them, I mean, I think that's what all that happened is someone was getting ready to load or something and they bumped that tank and it just cracked it. You know what I mean? So
Okay. Yeah, why don't
they slapped one of those infomercial things on there.
Oh.
And it's
What?
good to go. And I'm like, no.
Flex seal?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, oh no. It worked good for us. I was like, well, that's good, but we'll come back and rent it. I'm like, no, you can have another one. I really like this one. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't need it. Continuing to just fall apart on you. Anyways, I thought it was sort of comical. I saw it and I sort of giggled, but anyways, I would just to make sure that you guys are on the same page. I didn't want to waste my time to go out there and figure out
No. it
5
has to be.
tanks.
If
But I
we're-
mean, 150, 200 gallon tanks is probably about as much as you can put on those little trailers
Yeah.
between all the other equipment, but I just wanted to clean them up. Make sure that they have functioning lights on them, make sure I'm gonna have to get probably some wood and stuff to replace some of them, like.
Oil and gas motors.
Yeah, we do that. We do take care of the motors. But I mean, like, we're not gonna have to replace $800. I'm not asking for $800 motors. Like, we're still gonna use the motors, we're still gonna use the booms. A lot of the stuff that's already prefab. I just need some new hoses, some new tanks, like just your typical wearing items are they've reached their life.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's probably, if you do it sooner than later, especially with the strike going on now. Trying to get stuff in may be a challenge.
Yeah.
So do it as soon as you can and then we'll.
Okay, well, my hope was to get like a thumbs up that's good, and then I'll get all the quotes and stuff for the November meeting, so I can present that to you guys.
How about your nozzles? They wear out.
They do wear out, but people break them faster than they wear out. So,
You have,
fortunately, they get pretty new ones on there about every 2 or 3 years.
you have hand reels on some of those?
They're just the hand crank wheels, but maybe some new hose line for them too, but I think I have at least a full one, or if not 2 of them sitting in the back storage. They're brand new. They're still coiled up, so.
No,
Anyway, we do have a lot of stuff that we can use to do that. I was just, before I really get going into it, like I really want to take one trailer at a time, completely redo it, refurbish it, so it's ready to rock and roll for the next.
I think
season.
that's part of what you need to be doing
Yeah,
anyway, so I think we're good.
okay. But we didn't budget for that, so that's why I'm asking you guys.
And so if we get new tanks, can we make them easier to clean and easier to
That's
drain?
Good,
Good.
for sure, for me too, yes, because
Yeah.
it is not fun to clean some of those, yes. it shouldn't be an hour process to
No.
triple rinse a rental unit, right? It should be able to triple rinse it in
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes and have it clean and ready to rock and roll for the next individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go into the
One, okay,
staff report. Oh,
one quick question. Okay, before we get away from the banners, what about the tablecloths? That was for the tables that we have. And I think they were somewhere in the $100, and they have them where they slip into the legs, slip into envelopes on the sides so that they're not flying everywhere and yada, yada, yada. Do you want me to look into, I mean, I looked into it once, but I can't remember, so.
revisit that, because we had them when we worked at Ag, and they're pretty nice, actually. to
Yeah.
have that, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna, and do we want white or do we want a color or do we want,
I don't think you want white.
Don't do
no white? Okay, so,
I would do green or something. or-
right,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So that way if you get some
stuff on.
green, I guess green makes sense. Weeds or whatever.
Okay, that's what my thought was.
Blue or
Okay, so,
brown. Yeah, no, I don't want.
Wrinkly brown.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
Christian,
so. We've had, been a good summer. Just to start off with, we were able to get, Helena. City of Helena to sign an MOU for weed management on their weeds. It only took, year and a half with Chambers and I to get that pushed through, but it ended up working out good and they put us to work pretty much right after we got that signed. So that ended up being real good. Sprayed a couple acres of weeds for the city. Well, the road division. And then we do have a similar MOU sitting on the desk at East Helena, and they're sort of going through that and reviewing that. If possible, we haven't really reached out and really pushed them or anything like that. So, working with them on that. We do have a pretty good relation. I think we do get some weed management plans from the city of East Helena. I think that's something that we need to start doing with the city of Helena now that we have that MOU with them. We can start working with the city of Helena Planning Department for weed management plans on some of their subdivision, development plans that they're doing, like we didn't have one on the big multiplex right there next to Winco. You know what I mean? Like we never had a weed management plan on any of that stuff that we have going on within the city. So that's something I would like to start working with them on that. So, my hope is to walk in there and talk to them and it works out good with just me and them. And I guess if that doesn't, we will be presenting that to you guys to then take that next step for us. Everything's going good. We got Monte on, so we got that. That's been glad to have you on, Monte. It's been we've struggled for a while trying to have a full crew here, so it's nice to have a full crew. Season's winding down. Rentals were pretty slow the last month or so we pretty much just winterized everything, getting it ready for winter. All the spray equipment. We do have a truck that's not winterized just in case complaints or whatever come in. We went through most of the county road list, which is quite a bit. If I look on here, we got through almost 1,500 miles of road this summer. So 76 acres of weed sprayed in the road right away. I know that doesn't, when you think about it, it's not like a lot, but that's spot sprayed acreage. That's spraying weeds every time you're going out there, you're managing weeds. This isn't just turning on a boom and going. So I haven't really compared it to last year to see like where we're at. That'll be an interesting thing. We're not totally done compiling. This was as of, do you remember what?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, so, been doing well. It was a pretty good season. We have also gotten through quite a bit of our MDT contracts, so we're not left with a full contract in the spring. And that includes some of the extra monies that they gave us too. They sort of doubled everything this last year with their extra money. So like we have an $8,000 contract. They actually have $16,000 for us to spray, but just some of the extra money, I guess they had for that. So, Monday was our last day for most of our seasonals. I might bring them on for a day or so to help do some hydroseeding out at the landfill. Cause I'm sort of busy this week and then we're busy next week as well as at the MWCA fall training. Compliances, let me look here. Alex gave me an update on that. We had over 80 total cases for the season. That's with 6 carried over from last year. 61 cases have either met compliance or the complaints were unfound. So like sometimes people turn people in, but we go out and it's kochia. You know what I mean? Or there's just a nuisance weed problem, not a noxious weed problem. 2 cases, we have had no contact with the landowner, which could be a lot of things. A lot of times those are the ones that we just sort of hold on to and then try maybe again the next year, depending on how cadastral sort of turning out. Like sometimes we probably send them letters and they're like, oh, we don't own that property anymore. So they just throw it away. 5 cases have came in after the cutoff date. So we cut it off last week. So we will then just hold on to those and then start those up the next year. So that, and then 12 remaining cases are on hold. Just some of the people I've been working through have had contact with us and are working through on that, you know, like trying to get sprayers out this fall to go out there and mitigate weeds for them. So a lot of times we go back out there in the springtime to see if there's a reduction in that, or they end up sending us a receipt like Nitro Green went out and sprayed, or Helena Weed Control went out there and sprayed. So then when we get those, we can then you know, they have met compliance, so we don't go any further with those. We had 16 weed management plans submitted. 5 were for private lands, 3 for storage units, 2 for subdivisions. One of the subdivisions is the Helena Area Habitat for Humanity in East Helena, and then the Vigilante West East Helena. We've also had 2 for conditional use permits, 1 for a fitness center, 1 for open pit mine, 1 for a clay mine, and then 1 for 4 properties being annexed into East Helena, which I think that one's a new one. So
That's where he is today.
yep, that's where Axis is today. Biocontrol went really well. We had 69 collections released within the county for spotted knapweed, leafy spurge, and Dalmatian toadflax. Jade and Alex do have a really nice breakdown that we'll have that whole seasonal breakdown that we did last year. You remember that cool thing? We actually put that on our website too. So we'll work on getting that put together. But that's pretty good. We were able to fulfill everybody that puts in for the biocontrol program, which is good. Greenhouse went really well for the first year. Everybody sort of was asking Alex how he was getting houndstooth to grow. I guess everyone's had trouble with houndstooth. We had houndstooth growing all over the place in ours. I don't know what Alex did. I don't know what Alex did different than what everybody else has done, but like there was not a problem with growing houndstooth in our greenhouse. So we had plenty of that. But so hopefully, you know, with that, we're gonna try to figure out how we can preserve our perennial and short-term perennial plants for next year to grow again. You know, we have a lot of houndstooth, we have a lot of knapweed. How do we sort of keep those going, and how do we over a winter winter them. There's a cold spot in the shop. I think we're gonna put a table out and just set them on the table, sort of over in the corner. It's a little cooler there by the door, a little drafty door, so it's still a little cold. They do need to still be cold. And then cover them, I would assume, with a blanket or something, so that way they're like they're covered with snow. And then see what happens, I guess. We'll see. It's a learning experience. It's a lot of fun. Then, yeah. Other than that, we've been working on we worked on the Forest Service projects. We had the middleman routes that were like, up Beaver Creek, but headed east, like sort of like heading to Mar County area over there. Been doing a lot of that. We tried to get back up there. But it sounded like with all the rain that they had, there were trucks and stuff getting stuck on the middleman haul route road. So I was like, well, that's probably not gonna get sent. Seasonal sprayers and 1-ton trucks and 400 to 300 gallons of water spray mix. So it sounded like they needed to fix that because that was the same event that caused Jimtown Road to flood out into the campground right below that Riverside campground. It was the same event, but that still went up in that whole area up there. Like I said, we got hydro seeding this fall at the landfill. It ended up being almost 4.5 acres worth of hydro seeding that we have to do this fall. Like I said, hopefully I can bring in some seasonal employees. Alex is done on the 10th. He's got a fun trip to go on, and that's sort of his last day. Yeah, other than that, some of the things that we could talk about later is that there have been some individuals that have reached out to Alex about some weed pool days in 2025. Mary Hallow, Prickly Pear Land Trust, contact East Helena Parcel 2 remediation sites that they're talking about having weed pools out there. So just thoughts, put that in the back of our minds when we're thinking of scheduling some stuff. I imagine there's more to come as that hard to pick dates now. So other than that, I think that's all I have. I mean, like I said, we'll give you the whole summary breakdown.
Have you been working much with Forest Service BLM on the fires?
I haven't. My weed planner partner works for the Forest Service, and I was sort of talking to him about stuff. And it sounds like they're planning on seeding the whole Horse Gulch fire area. Doing some of that. I was talking to Megan Hoyer too yesterday at NISMA in Missoula, and she was talking about how there's some grant funding out there to work with the Forest Service too. So I haven't had an opportunity to talk to the Forest Service yet on that. But it does sound like they have some action plan in place to try to get some of that stuff growing up there.
I
A
guess
lot of that stuff was pre-burned a long time ago, so
Yeah.
not like a whole lot of, most of it was just grasslands and old timbered.
I guess I'm more probably concerned with the new fire lines and stuff that they put in.
Okay,
So make sure that they get those seeded.
yeah, I'll reach out to
Yeah.
Heidi. I'll reach out to Heidi.
Okay. It'd just be good to make sure that they're gonna follow up and do some of that, because that's what gets away from a lot of areas.
Mhm.
I didn't know if you would like to.
Oh, yeah, and then also in our packets too, there is the budget reconciliation for 297. Jade has a memo in your packet. Don't talk about it. If there's any questions, please let us know. Really, the biggest thing that we've expensed out of that is for our radio ads. So we have expensed all of our budget authority so far, which is $1,500. You guys had covered the rest of it, which as of right now, you guys, we still have 3780 left in that budget that we allocated for the rest of those ads. So, and they'll keep trickling in. We'll probably get ads payments through November, probably even December. So that'll probably come down shortly, but we do have scheduled stuff, I think in March, April and May. So we still have 3 months worth of, at least 3 months worth of ads. So I sort of thinned them out this fall, you know, like sort of spaced them out a little bit. I didn't have them to be so like every other day, or sort of thinned them out a little, or yeah, or I did it every other week, I think is what I did, except for this month. And then when we get going in March, it's for like every week. So it's quite a bit of ads, because I wanted to get things going for cheatgrass, you know what I mean? Like I wanted stuff out, because that's one of the biggest questions we get every year is kochia and cheatgrass. So, just trying to talk to people about, this is the time to get ready for cheatgrass, you know, management, please give us a call kind of thing. So, because it's more of a timing thing than it is anything. So, anyways, so yeah, that's in here.
Okay.
I think other than that, that's all I have to report. But since I am on here, I can, if you don't mind, I can give Mike Cobb's.
Sure.
Update. He says, he has a medical appointment this Wednesday. I'm told the NRCS is meeting at my neighbor's, the LF ranch, to discuss cleaning up the forest. If I get back from my appointment, I will attend the meeting. And make sure to ask if there's a coordinated weed management plan with the entities, knowing that. As I observed the leaves of hound tongue on the ranch, I see bigger holes, bigger than shotgun pellets. Thus, I ask, is that the beetle? I have not responded to that. But I would certainly like to take a trip up there at some point in time. I have not had the opportunity to take a trip up there to specifically look for hound's tongue. But I have found it in a lot of places. I've even found it along Canyon Ferry Lake in Broadwater County. I found it up by Judith Ann's right before we did the little prickly pear bridge for hydro seeding. So it's here, you know what I mean? So we just gotta, there is a lot of hound's tongue though, so it's not gonna be on every one of them. But anyways, I'll make sure to reach out to him. He said he's gonna see if NRCS will ask them to confirm if the beetle is prospering on the front. I don't know if the NRCS knows anything about that, but I can reach out to him and then maybe schedule a time to go see Mike Cobb up north just before the snow starts flying, just to see if you can see it. So, because you can see it on the, if you're curious, if any of you are curious, because you do see a lot of times, you know, what he's probably talking about is either gophers eating hound's tongue or grasshoppers. You know, there's a lot of other animal plants or bugs that eat it. But the thing that you can do is to take, you know, the leaves lay down like this, is to pick it up and look down right at the base of the leaf, and you'll see a little ovideposit hole right at the base of that leaf where it attaches to there. And it looks like you just took like a needle and just poked it. And
So
that means that beetle went there and ovideposited into the base of that leaf, which is right at the base, you know, right at the crown of the plant. So, and that's where they then go in there and then they start to weevil their way down and eat the root through the winter time.
It's on the florets and not on the ones that's already.
Yeah, it's all the basal leaves, the ones that are down at the bottom. So you just pick them up and look right at the base, right at close to the crown on the ground. You'll look and you'll see a little pinhole right underneath there. So that's a good way to look, because it is sort of hard to tell depending on what's out there eating plants, you know, grasshoppers and slugs and everything else. But anyways, yeah, but that's the way to do that, because they're the only, that's just where they deposit their eggs and they hatch and then they start working their way through the roots. It's pretty, they're pretty cool bug. So, and they work really well. That's why they're here and not Canada anymore.
And and you said the holes in the leaves are just small.
Yeah, they're just little itty bitty holes for the most part. They're nothing too
Because
big.
I think what I was seeing a lot was, it must have been copper too. because
Yeah.
They were big and kind of jagged around.
Yeah.
Probably rest over everywhere, but that was yesterday, out of the houndstone there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just there, it just unbelievable. That's just one around the slash pile where they've done.
Is that my house?
Yeah, no, it's not. It was, that's actually.
Well, mine looks, I saw that, yeah, I went, oh my God, I hope that's not my house.
I haven't been up here. I'll go
I
take a
haven't been
look.
up there.
I'll go take a look here, probably next week, but. Yeah, Houndstone right now is just insane everywhere. It's good growth season for it, you know?
Yep.
And I haven't found, of course, I haven't slowed down and actually looked for the.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, if you're still mitigating them, I just still do your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Don't stop spraying.
Well,
just
the thing
because.
is like this, I mean, this is stuff that's easily accessible, I mean, right off the log and road.
Yeah,
Around the slash piles is just terrible, but you get into them skidder trails where they're pulling these logs down. I can't get up there on my buggy and I'm rock yet, but it was a pucker factor was above my comfort level.
Okay,
Anyway,
all right, thanks.
Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Jen.
Not a lot for you guys today. We're just wrapping up the summer project. So for the Public Works as a whole, the county road department did 38 miles of chip sealing this year. So that includes chip sealing, fog and paint. So quite a few miles if you're out and about. We did some major overlays, Valley Drive. We did an overlay, asphalt overlay, Country Club Road. If you haven't drove that lately compared to what it used to look like. It's all been overlaid, fogged and painted. And then the rest of the Bird's Eye, we broke up Bird's Eye into 3 phases. So we did 6 miles, and then we just finished the last 6 miles on that road. So that's been completed. And then also the rural improvement districts did quite a bit of chip sealing. So we both had chip sealing for county roads and chip sealing projects for the rural improvement districts. So a lot of work this summer in the road department. We have a couple designs, big designs underway. I was talking a little bit with Dave about this before the meeting started. Doesn't actually mean that we have construction. So we're designing the roundabout on Henderson and Custer at the fairgrounds to try to get a shovel-ready project in place to have the design completed so we can get some grant funding to do construction at some point. And then Lake Helena Drive is another major design for a causeway to Deal Road to get that all paved. That road is getting beat up big time. I think we're probably going to be out in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be the 4th grading that we've had to do on that gravel road this year. Typically we do a spring and then a fall, and some of the busier roads, we might do one in the middle. But Applegate, Lake Helena, we're gonna be out there 4, if not 5 times. Green Meadow's gonna be 3 or 4 times plus. Applegate, north for the Applegate's gonna be 4 times plus. So with the growth in the county, these roads are just getting beat up. Anything more than like 400 average daily traffic should be paved. And Lake Helena's running around 1,400 and Green Meadow's running around 1,400 to 2,000. So when you're at 400, what the standard is, and we're 3 or 4 times that amount, the roads are just taking a beating. So if you're out talking to somebody, just pass that on a little bit, that we're just growing as a county and our tourism is increasing. And that's just the main roads within the Helena Valley area. And then you figure about all of our recreational roads where everybody's coming in to hike trailheads and hike, coming with boats and stuff. Don't drive Hauser a couple times of the year. That gets beat up big time. Grizzly Gulch with all the trailheads that the city of Helena has now up in that area, they're taking a beating. So that's just the Helena Valley. And then we're all fully staffed in the road department, which is good. We had a couple vacancies this last year with some retirements, but our Lincoln operator is doing really well. So Lincoln Country is looking really good. And then our Augusta and Wolf Creek district operators have been filled as well. So we've got full staff based upon what we're allocated within the county for our resources on that end. So it's not that don't have the people. We have what the people's been allocated. Doesn't mean we just need more people and resources, but we're trying to balance that. So that's underway. And then right now we're just gearing up for the winter. Our shop has been preparing the snow plows for the winter. We were able to get, it's probably been 3 years with the shipping areas that we're trying to replace our 1995 to 99 snow plows with new snow plows, but it was getting really hard to get Chaps and Cassie's to get those to get those built, to get the snow plows and the sander boxes and everything on place. They're all here. All the parts and pieces are here. It's up in Conrad at 3V to get built. Anticipating getting some of our new snow plows in November. So that'll be, we won't have to worry about as many, maybe potentially some breakdowns this winter, depending upon using the older equipment. So we've made it through last year pretty good. We should make it through this year a lot better than we were there. So they're just trying to get prepared for the winter. Other than that, the Rural Improvement District and Special District program has been busy. We probably have 12 pending rural improvement districts out there right now, and Dave went through that process. And so as our county resources are getting tightened down and it takes more resources, what we end up telling folks is if we can't get to a road that we might have got to in the past, or you don't like the level of maintenance that we're able to provide, homeowners can form rural improvement districts, and then they get maintenance associated with what benefits them on their road. And Dave did that last year with an improvement and then a rural improvement district for maintenance on the Han Road. And that's been working really well. It's just working with the property owners on that end. So we're always here to help. If folks have questions on that end, just send them this direction. But that's it. It's more of a global. And then of course, Kristen gave a great update on the weeds, which is certainly a major component of the summer. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. What about the bridge on Dalton Mountain?
Oh, yeah, the Dalton Mountain Bridge. It's a off-system bridge program through the Montana Department of Transportation. It's a MDT lead, so we got MDT to take the lead on that, so it doesn't impact our county resources. And we were able to get 3 years ago the match through the Department of Commerce TSEP funding. So our match money for that MDT off-system grant program is all grant funded. So it didn't cost the taxpayers any money to replace that Dalton Mountain Bridge. It's underway and on a schedule. They anticipate they're going to be able to get that back up and going in November. But they're making, and then the commissioners did a tour a couple weeks ago with the they were putting the trusses in. It's a freestanding bridge, but there won't be anything in the river banks of the Blackfoot. And it's going to be a really nice, gorgeous looking bridge when it gets completed. But yeah, that's making progress and they're meeting the schedule. And there haven't been any complaints up there with the detour or any of those project plans. They've got a really good kind of public outreach approach up in Lincoln. So it's going to be a good project. It's going to be a neat bridge when it gets done.
Yeah, I haven't been around there, so I've been taking the detour.
So speaking of bridges, I know that they've got that quick repair bridge all completed, but then the other one that was up dead man up by hers, is that slated for, I mean, I thought they were gonna do that this year, but something I heard they spent too much on the other one. Or
Yeah, some of the balance. I think it's on our priority plan for getting it done maybe next summer. I think they had to revamp some of the design work on that, I think, on the dead man. So the next year we anticipate, I think, doing dead man. We're hoping to maybe do glass drive bridge as well on Glass Road, but that's going to be after the Head Lane Bridge gets completed, because we're reusing the bridge on Head Lane to get put on Glass Drive. And the Head Lane Bridge has got a 5-ton load limit on it right now. It's basically on its last leg as well, but we got NSEP funding, Department of Commerce, Montana Coal Endowment funding for that project. And also our match money was through a discretionary fund, MDT. So again, that didn't cost the taxpayers any money for that Head Lane replacement bridge. And then we're going to try to repurpose the bridge we have on another project. So we're trying to work through all those things. And the cost of bridges are going way, way up. So in the past, we could budget around 150,000 or so for some bridge replacements, not Dalton, because Dalton's a $4.2 million bridge. But some of the other ones, the Head Lane Bridge is probably going to be, the total project is going to be $800,000 to $1 million probably. So if we can repurpose and then get the life on the other ones, we're trying to work on a 5-year bridge plan right now on on, you know, trying to get revenue to save on capital to move forward, but there's gonna be a time, depending upon how the cost of inflation goes up and where things are, we just have to prioritize, and there may be bridges that are load limited. There may be bridges that we just don't replace because, you know, there's another alternate way around or what that looks like. We're just trying to juggle all that.
And you guys aren't, the DOT or, MDT is responsible for the Lincoln Road reroute, all that, right?
No, well, it's through their contract and their contractor, but we had the detours on a county road. So any maintenance of the county road and impacts to that certainly had been coordinated with us. And once FDT gets done with the Dalton Mountain Bridge, it is gonna be a county-owned bridge after that.
The Lincoln Road, I'm talking.
Oh, like
about.
Fletcher.
No, by Gearing Branch. I mean, they're-
Oh, okay, you're talking actually not the town of Lincoln, you're
Lincoln
talking
Road.
Lincoln Road. I'm with you, Stacy. Yes, MDT has Lincoln Road jurisdiction. So for you guys, just really quickly, Highway 12 in the city of East Helena is MDT's. Montana Avenue's MDT's up until Lincoln Road, and then it goes to county. County is above Bob's. And then all of Lincoln Road is MDT's jurisdiction. York is MDT jurisdiction. And Canyon Ferry is Lincoln Road, or is MDT jurisdiction. Just to give you kind of a ballpark on, you know, some of those
And that's
roads.
good, I mean, because I had a question to talk to Alex about.
Okay.
Whose responsibility is this, I'm not. MDT.
Yeah, right, and some of those right of ways, Christian, if it's weed related, Christian may have an agreement with MDT to spray the
Mhm.
MDT right of ways. So you could still let him know, because he might be able to use that funding source that we get from them. Or if it's not enough and there's some hot spots, he could talk with them about getting more funding for some of those areas.
Then we can talk, discuss some of that.
Yep,
later.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, we might be missing some of them through our agreement.
I just wonder when they're gonna be, I mean, I hear discussion on straightening out that Lincoln Road.
Oh, right,
around- and going around
2020.
Gearings.
2026 was the last I heard, but I bet it's gonna get a little delayed.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Just curious.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Candace. Commissioner Payne.
Hello, sorry I can't be there in person. My schedule sort of got all shoved together. I want to comment on Jenny's recycling report. I love the fact that they recycle those bridges. Those things are expensive, and it just tickles me that this is something, okay, we'll take it out here, put it in over here. You guys are doing a really great job of recycling, and I appreciate it. As far as the weeds, the weeds are just kind of overwhelming, but I'm glad to see we're trying to get them under control. I think maybe I'm just becoming more aware of weeds because of the work I see being done by this committee, and educating people, and it's really important. And I was listening to the Montana Ag Network report on Sunday night, and they were talking about Vantanata, which is apparently a very nasty weed, sort of like cheatgrass, only it has silica in it. So it has absolutely no forage benefits. And I don't know if we have that in Lewis and Clark County or not, but if we do, it looks pretty ugly. I'm used to dealing with cheatgrass, but Vantanata apparently is something we should watch out for. That's all.
Yes, 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 we are keeping a close eye on that, and we've been working with MDT for some of our Ventanata spots on Highway 12 going up and over Mac Pass. And then we've also found some Ventanata on 287, I think, close to Shodo, you know, Augusta area, you know, sort of along that stretch. Supposedly the one on 287 was sprayed, and it hadn't come back. The guy that's actually the new Mike Miller was the one that was working up there and actually sprayed him. So So, and he's been the one doing a lot of that stuff. So Jason, oh man, too many names, too many people. Anyways, but yes, we've been working with MDT on a lot of that stuff going up Mac Pass.
And we
So-
sent postcards.
Yes,
For Ventnata, we sent on Highway 12.
did we send those?
We did send them.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, so we did.
an
We did,
educational
we did
postcard.
send a educational postcard to landowners up on McDonald Pass for Ventnata. So to make sure that if they see it, to reach out to us, cause there is funding out there to help them, so. Really don't cost them a whole lot for them to spray that, so.
Did you guys find them, or did the fort find it up on?
We didn't find Ventnata, that was Rush Kill.
Oh, it's Rush.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Rush.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you.
Mhm.
Weed board reports, Jason.
Oh, busy summer, lot of weeds growing, and all the areas. We did, as you guys know, we had that, June 6th, spray day. Where we invited BLM to also participate. I think that went fairly well. I think the timing was right. It hit a lot of areas. Then we can't, then we, BLM wanted to come back and do another spraying where they're currently doing a logging project. Just happens to be up above where our place is. And so Kevin contacted me and asked if I would like to participate in that with them. So I spent another day spraying with those guys up on, primarily BLM land. I think it's wonderful that they're taking a proactive step in trying to get this stuff as they're logging now, because typically what I've seen up in that Canyon Creek area is they want to hit it 2 or 3 years later. And then by then it's just so blown up. It's just unbelievable. So branch I was working on yesterday, not June 10th, I'm sorry. It was another, guys are being proactive. The loggers just finished up this midsummer and we're in there right now getting some stuff taken care of, like this hound's tongue, this and mowing that just obviously pops up every new log and road they cut in. Anyway, so back to the BLM and working with them. I've been receiving a lot of complaints from the folks up in Marysville where the BLM their property adjoins BLM, and just really frustrated that BLM doesn't do anything. And I had mentioned it to Kevin. I said, these are some hot spots, and I know they were up there this summer spraying a bunch of knapweed going up the Long Gulch Road. But there are other areas, just homeowners or landowners, and they've got to do something because it's encroaching on my property. I'm trying to do the best I can, but I just can't. And I said, well, you need to call Christian and let him know, and actually, another particular area of BLM that was a problem, and I visited with Alex and he says, well, how do you want to handle this? I said, I want to file a formal complaint. I mean, the BLM is not doing their part. I called Kevin and I said, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but here's how it works. Stuff rolls downhill, right? It needs to come from your management, your leadership, because you can go back to the shop and say, we got a lot of weeds up there. It's a problem. We need to address it. It's not going to hit it. It needs to be documented. They need to send him out on the job, and I think that in the big picture, he thanked me very much for doing that. And he says, that's good because that'll basically build a fire under his leadership. And if it's documented, we've got it there. This is when the problem was reported. Now we need a response from you folks. And that's how it needs to be.
That's good, because I think that's somebody sitting in Butte, like Kevin, can't go out and just do everything unless his boss say so.
Exactly. And now,
So if the bosses are saying, go do this, it makes it a whole lot easier.
and right after my conversation with Alex, I got on the phone with Kevin and said, hey, this is to help, and he did anything. He goes, I appreciate it. And this will work out. And not only that, whether it's funding or additional resources. I know he had a summer helper with him when we were up spraying, and a couple, or they had 2 or 3 guys up when we were with Judith Dan, but, you know, the more hands-on they can get and bringing it to their attention, you know, BLM's got so much property, they're not aware of their problem areas. And that was one of the things that Kevin had asked me, can you take me to where the hot spots are, where we really need to focus? And I said, follow me, young man. You know, I mean,
Well, after the debate last night, we'll have a lot of houses being built on BLM property pretty soon.
anyway, so
That's
it.
good, though. That's what needs to happen.
Well, and I think that's, you know,
And it's-
again, I mean, and he took, I said, don't take this personally. I mean, you're doing as much as you can.
Right.
But they got the kid running down into the big hole. I mean, a couple days before he was up here, he was in the big hole spraying, and we got so much down there, and I said, I get it. And, you know, I do, I want to have a conversation with Cody or Corey at Forest
Corey.
Service. You know, they've got,
Need to do
it's just a mess, you know? And,
Well, the
I
thing
think,
with
I think
BLM
the new person's Heidi Crum.
well, yeah, but the weed sprayer is actually,
Corey's the one that did a lot of the spraying,
The
but I
spraying.
believe
Yeah.
Heidi is actually
and
the
I,
boss.
and I dealt with Heidi Crum when she was with DNRC because some of the contracts I was working on there, so they, you know, we've got a little bit of a relationship there too, but, yeah, I went up, Sucker Creek in Lincoln and made the loop and came out Copper Creek, and it's just, the knapweed, in August was just unbelievable. Yeah,
I think a lot of that too has to do with, without the
snowmobile.
snowmobilers spraying.
Well, and that's the other thing, you know, and I know that they really did a bang up job over the years, you know, and Bob Bushnell was in there and stuff, and Mike and Jeanette and whatever, but, and I've, you know, I talked to the club out here, I haven't had time personally to work with them, and
Yeah.
we ended up with kind of a situation that was a little unique when we were doing the June spray day up in Canyon Creek. BLM would not let or allow, volunteer help to actually spray without being,
Licensed.
certified applicator. And which my group are all licensed, so that wasn't an issue, but we had folks that weren't able to spray on any of that stuff, so it kind of ended up being Kevin and Tate and Nate and me and my help, and
Mhm.
so, and I don't know if Forest Service is like that or not, I would
I
assume
would
not.
imagine.
Well, I would think so, you'd think that it would be very similar, but,
But it's not. Because I can go spray on Forest Service.
so that Judith, and that brings up a very good point. I mean, so there's, you know, they're not allowing, and maybe I need to talk to somebody other than Kevin about this, but they won't allow these volunteer people yet. Technically, the people have the grazing allotment for that property are required to spray. So that's how I end up getting into all this stuff with the Chevrolet Ranch and Brady's and all this. I mean, because they got the grazing allotment, and those people are allowed to spray without any special certification or
I guess they wouldn't, because it's considered their land if they're leasing.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
BLM, as far as I know,
They were a little
never
more
used to do that. That wasn't part of the deal. When, I mean,
It-
well,
Well, yeah, it kind of stinks that BLM has one back,
Oh, absolutely.
basically.
Well, and that's.
I mean,
Forest Service.
they need some help.
And Helena National Forest is the same way. They got, that's, he's the only one out there spraying.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that with BLM, they ended up bringing a new Can-Am side 6-wheeler and Kevin put 2 flats on the same side of the rear. And he'd never plugged a tire before. I said, man, a good thing I'm here to take care of you kids. You know, got him on, and I carry a compressor, tire plugs, and I fix stuff on the fly all the time, but anyway, yeah, we got him out and going, kept moving, but that's all I have for the
Okay.
area, so,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
That's good information, though, that, you know. Yeah, BLM Forest Service, those guys need to understand that one person can't handle
Well,
that amount of area.
and one of the, I mean, I really, up in Denver, up in. I seen where they built a brand new trail up Dry Gulch. Starting down low, where they put the Humpty, and then they started from the top and they came in from the top. It's a perfectly good ATV trail.
Trail.
Dropped it down into the timber to make a little loop and do this. And the money that they had to spend to do that with the heavy equipment and stuff could have been better used for weed mitigation, but that's just my complaint. I mean, I will have a conversation with them about that. Guys, that's really great you did this, but number one, it was an absolute waste in my opinion, because the trail was in perfect condition, but it just wasn't as fun. I guess, I mean, that's the only thing. That's.
They think they're running the Tour de France or something up there. I don't know. I don't get it.
That's a whole.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dave. So just a little bit for the MWCA, the annual committee for the annual meeting in Great Falls has been working on it all summer long. We have a meeting coming up, I think, next week, actually.
It is next week.
Yeah, and
Dylan.
trying to be, they also have a board meeting coming up next week too, right? MWCA, at the fall meeting.
Yeah.
So some things will get put together, but the gist of it is that it looks like a pretty good schedule, pretty good agenda. A lot of hands-on stuff this year. It'll be in Great Falls. So as things come around, I'll let you guys know. I'll give you, hopefully by next month, we'll have a draft agenda, so should be there, so. That's all I had. I was gonna ask a couple two things. My queue. Have you guys, there's a lot of where you listen on the queue.
Okay.
And then going up Fletcher Pass, a lot of napkins.
We did spray a lot of that this fall, so might not see a whole lot of.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah, it might have
look
been after
real-
I was up there too, so.
Yeah, cause that was one of the last things we were spraying on. was
Okay.
The Fletcher Pass Road.
Yeah, there was quite a bit up there. I'm surprised.
They sprayed, that road's horrible. But McHugh, yeah.
So just in regards to McHugh, I had actually called out. I've been a pain in his rear this year, calling with complaints. Guys, and what had happened, when you were out of the office, and so I called and said, hey, I mean, we got a tremendous amount of knapweed, and I'm talking just right off of McHugh, or right off of Custer as you start down McHugh, where the two big subdivisions are, just right in the right of way there between that and the walking path.
Yep.
And then I mentioned, and also we've got Borealism that's just blowing up also right now. And Alex was like, well, we've already hit that area. Typically we don't do a second application on these roads. I said, well, I understand that, but it needs it, and so. They did send out, and Mill Road was the same way. There was a lot of Borealism on that, and they did send the guys out. Some said, yeah, I saw him spraying. I said, oh, good, I'll call Ice and Alex, and that's, thank you, I appreciate it. I didn't say that. Christian told me whenever I see something, bring it to his attention, but, yeah, so, yeah, they did spray, and Borealism doesn't look like it took a hit on it. It still looks like it's pretty good shape.
Good.
So I don't know, and maybe your folks would hit the Borealism and the knapweed, not just the. Knapweed.
I don't know why I don't know if it's too, it's because people are mowing that section between the sidewalk and the road. That it's taking it out sometimes, but it's always coming back.
Yeah, I do have, that's why the one truck isn't winterized. I have been wanting to do a test on with Rejuvra and spray some of the roads that we have where it's paved, where they're not road grading and pulling the ditch, and actually spray some of those right of ways with Rejuvra. Because plants like Borealism won't come back up the next year, their annual weeds. So doesn't really, what I mean, like if you're able to get that Rejuvra down on the ground, the next year, they're not gonna, they're pre-emergent, it's gonna kill all the seeds. So, and it'll help prevent, it'll be essentially a barrier for any new weeds that come in and stuff, but like on Valley, Wiley, Lake Helena, McHugh, you know what I mean, like some of these some of these roads that we have, that are paved where we could do that. The only problem is Rejuva is expensive, but I would like to try it in some of these areas. I'm not saying that we're not gonna go out there and keep spraying them, because it's not gonna kill a perennial knapweed plant that we missed the year before. Like, it's still gonna exist the next year, but if I got that down, we could get 2 or 3 years of at least 2 or 3 years worth of annual seed reduction in the ditch. And then that way they would look pretty clean when we get through some of these. So,
It'd be nice
but
to
it's just
see.
a thought that I was looking at maybe doing. I just haven't had the time
Okay.
to do it yet. I was
Cause that's-
hoping maybe this fall.
Cause that's stuff right by where McHugh's,
Mhm.
their property is, just
Mhm.
past the creek there.
Yeah.
Their barn, and they
Yeah.
got the animals. That field is a mess beyond words, but, cause it's white top, but on the roadways, there's a lot of rails in there, so.
Yeah.
Between there and that concrete irrigation ditch, yeah.
Yeah, we fight a lot on where you listen. I think some of the big things is none of the seasonal employees know what it looks like very much when it's in the rosette or early stages. It's easy to tell what it is once it blooms, but they're not getting
It's
it
very
when-
hard to find when it's in the rosette stage.
Yeah, because everything else is
Yeah,
green. too.
right.
And well, and it's so small too.
You know, but that was my thought on that anyways.
Okay.
Oh, Dave, I look at that where you're talking every day. I'm gonna drive by, I'm like, it drives me nuts, but, and I've
Me too.
been gonna stop
That's
by
what
and
I'm
talk to
like.
Michael. Just-
Okay, did we have anything from Pete?
We did not.
Okay, how about, we did Mike,
Mhm.
how about Shelley?
She said she was unavailable. She did have a couple of things she wanted to discuss, and so she said she'd let me know for next meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Rob,
Did quite a bit of fall spraying for knapweed. Seems like me and some of the neighbors noticed that it really took off and it really showed in places where we hadn't seen it before, and it's hard to get a handle on it because sometimes access to spray it isn't that easy, but anyway, got the stuff we could get at. Other than that, that's about it, I guess.
okay. I appreciate that. That's, I haven't been out there much this year. I usually go floating 4 or 5 times a year. I think I've gone once this year, so that was early. I haven't seen out there, but every other place I've gone, I've noticed.
It was a good knapweed year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think last year.
This gravel pile over here off of McHugh.
We turned
between
them
here
all
and
in.
McHugh.
That's another one of my complaints, right? They did it, Alex
So
told me
we got
they got it
Kim
sprayed.
Smith in, and then we made, oh man. Nistler, thank you.
Hmm.
You knew I was thinking it so hard she could hear it. So.
That's why we're a good team
But
out
yeah,
there. We just
yeah,
recharge better.
Yeah, yes, we made Nistler go out there and spray his, and then we made Kim Smith spray his little corner over there. It's been
It was just like one day, it just was there. I mean, the whole field was purple, it seemed like.
I usually use that as my, let's go take a field trip and see what weeds look like.
Yeah.
For all the seasonal employees, we go walk over there. It's real close and handy.
Yeah.
I made them spray it.
So that.
We got a
yeah.
greenhouse down.
Thanks, Rob.
And hopefully that application they did, was really effective. It looked like it was. I mean, I noticed it was standing shortly thereafter, and so it's a positive. But it's been, eyesore for many years.
I don't know what they were doing over there yesterday, the day before. They had,
Right on,
yeah,
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're forming up some,
looked like they were doing,
some.
yeah, I don't know if it was educational things or what they were doing, but there was probably 70 people out there. Kind of weird, but Monte,
I have nothing to report.
Just glad I'm here.
And you're in, is this Lincoln area? No.
He's the Lincoln rep, but he's out in the Northfield.
I live in the North Hills. yeah.
Okay. Do you get over to Lincoln often?
Not anymore. I
No.
used to go over to Flathead all the time.
Okay.
But they sold the cherry orchard, so I'm not working in Flathead anymore.
I see.
Okay, thanks. Anything from Neil?
I didn't hear anything from you.
He was going to Zoom, but then something came up, so he was unavailable.
Judith Ann,
Okay,
you got
show and tell
5 minutes.
time.
Yeah, I used up your usual extra time.
No, this is good. This is good. Okay, so first of all, welcome Monte. And then I had some pictures of the spray day that we had, which worked out really well, thanks to Stacy and all the things that he contributed, getting us lined out. And we ended up having, oh my God, I think there was six trucks. We had, well, we had 3 BLM guys. They had 1 truck, 1 trailer, and the UTV with flat tires or whatever that deal was. And then we had another guy with 150 gallons with a, there was no, that was my trailer and his truck. And then Stacy came along with all his equipment, which was wonderful. And then I had a 200-gallon tank on another truck, and we used that. So we put close to, if I'm not, I don't know if I have these numbers totally correct, but about 1,200 to 1,500 gallons of spray that day. That's one spray day on the ground between all of us. And there was, I think there was 13 or 15 guys. And then there was 6 or 7 girls. And we just, I mean, we worked the whole doggone day. And then some of us worked that, I think that was on a Thursday. Some of us worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in other areas. And we just, I don't have the numbers all pulled together, but we got a lot done. So anyway, this was, so this is Stacy and his bride, and this was at dinner at my house after we got done. And then this was the kitchen crew. And we had pulled pork and baked beans, and it ended up being a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And we were at,
That usually doesn't happen on spray.
and you know, there were even a couple of beers.
No.
So anyway, yeah, so that was kind of that. All of my pictures are in video instead of, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, what the heck I was thinking. But this is the only one that I would got, which doesn't really show that much of the spray days, but Candace is gone.
Mhm.
So.
No.
Oh, she's there.
Is she there? Okay.
I'm here.
Well, anyway, so that was that. So then my next thing was the Lincoln Rodeo, which went really well. There was another picture here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So anyway, it all kind of came together really fast. And I took half of my trailer and I made half of it Noxious and half of it native. I did the native part in green grass slabs from Power Townsend, which I then put in my yard. And then I went and got some fresh cut hay and made a windrow down the center of it, and that was the native and the good side. Then I went and picked all the weeds that I could find, knapweed, houndstong, mullein, thistle of every description. And
Judith
planted it
Ann?
all in-
Would you hold
What?
that up to the owl so I could see it? No, not toward me, but toward the machine. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, we planted them all in pots. Then I threw them all in the truck, and then I went and gathered old bones and tin cans and rusted tin cans and an old piece of a plow, and I don't know, I just gathered all this stuff, threw it in my truck. We went to Lincoln, And I pulled it all together on the street. I didn't know what I was just pulling. I grabbed pine cones off the street and pine needles, and I asked some lady if I could have some stuff from her house, and she said, yeah. And it came together so fast. It was really, really kind of fun. And I would think there wouldn't be any reason that we couldn't be able to do this in Lincoln again. I mean, it took probably, if it took 40 minutes, 45 minutes to put the float together, it worked really good. And then Augusta, if we could go to Augusta and do that and make it work, it would be fine. And then maybe even East Helena, because it came together much easier than I thought it was going to. Let's see.
Commissioner Payne, I just took a picture of that photo and I emailed it to you as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
anyway, then let's see. And of course, Jade was there with the kids. And
I took
that
some
was fun.
pictures.
She
I
took some
loved it.
pictures,
Yeah,
but I
think
haven't
I
seen
just
her
thought of that.
pictures yet.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get this all pulled together on picture in a file somewhere, so we'd could be save all this stuff. But anyway, then there were 3 little girls, 2 of them from Arizona, that they wanted to march in the parade, but there was nobody marching. And so I said, jump on the trailer. And so they ended up being the ones that threw the candy off the back of the trailer. They were in the height of their glory,
Nice.
and they were darling. They were like 9, 10 years old. They were just adorable. And everybody's yelling, Judith Ann, is that you? And I'm going, I don't know who these people are. I have no earthly idea. You were what? Oh, there you go. I have no earthly idea who they were, but I just waved my little weed warrior goddess wave and went on with whatever. Fight noxious weeds. So anyway, that's kind of that. I know one thing else I wanted. So at spray days, going back to spray days, I made these little bags, and in these little bags, I put candy bars and protein bars and pens and pencils and a lapel pin from the Department of Agriculture and a pair of gloves. And I can't remember what else I had, but they were full, and everybody got one of these bags with goodies in them, and I used our stickers. Stickers. Oh. There you go. So anyway, that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, and those were the new banners that we got, which I think just turned out great, which is thanks to Fast Signs again. And so, and that was the front of the truck that I had the sprayer in, and we were gonna spray water, but I didn't have anybody to spray water. And so anyway, that's kind of that little deal. It all went really well. So maybe we can work on a project of doing the rodeo parades for whatever. So anyway, okay, so the Lincoln rodeo grounds are a disaster with knapweed. So that's gonna become my next project. Maybe Monte will work on this with me and maybe some of the rest, but it is god awful. It is just awful. I mean, people are sitting on cut off knapweed with the stems this big around when they're sitting on that hillside. It's just awful. So, and I don't know who owns that or anything about it, but we need to get on somebody's case to get that hillside and that parking lot cleaned up. Because it's
Hey,
not bad.
Judith Ann, Friday is Lincoln Community Government Day. I'll be going up there. And is this something that I should be, poking people about? Who do I talk to up there?
I don't know. I haven't had time to figure it out, but maybe you, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Jenny will be there with me. Perhaps she could help me strong arm.
Yeah, I'll ask around too before the meeting just to see who owns it and we can mention it.
Well, and I mean, I would think it would be important to people, in Lincoln as well as those of
Yeah.
us on the weed board.
Right, right. Well, it should be because people had their blankets down. It didn't do any good. Those sticks were pretty tough. So anyway, whatever we can do to put some fire under somebody for that, I think we could help. Even do a
It's-
spray day up there or something.
It's
I don't
leafy
know.
spurge,
No, it's
Spotted
knapweed.
spotted knapweed. Okay, thank you.
Right. So, and then, thanks to Lewis and Clark County for rodeo tickets.
It's the commissioners.
There you go.
That's the
Thank you,
commissioner.
Commissioner.
You're welcome.
There you go. So, and fire season was terrible this year. The wind. It was so hot and so dry. And so I don't know if you stopped haying at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was just so scary to have equipment running in the afternoon. It was, I didn't want to start a fire anywhere. So anyway, another thing that I did was I had 4 of these signs made. And I went and posted them all in our area, one up on, going towards Stacy's at, they had a lost horse. And then I put one up the South Fork. I put I put 2 on my fences, one going to Cottonwood and the other one going up Anderson Road into the Forest Service. So, and Fast Signs donated the fire signs. So thank you very much, Fast Signs. Okay, now my next little project was, I don't know if any of you remember Ed Grady. He was the representative. He's the one who kind of got Lewis and Clark County started. This was his 91st birthday party on the 23rd of August.
Nice.
And I said to him, I said, do you remember where you were this day on 1959, in 1959? He looked at me like I was half crazy. I said, well, I am. But I said, well, I was with you that day. Because I was like, I don't know, 12, maybe somewhere around there. But anyway, long story short, I finally told him that we were at a wedding and that we had dinner at the Montana Club on his whatever birthday that was in 1959. So anyway, but he's doing really good and we talk about weeds all the time and there you go. So that's that little deal. Then we've done our jackets, we've done the banners. Okay, so now I've had an archery elk camp warrior team at the Cottonwood campground. Thank God we got it sprayed. Thank God we got it cleaned up. Because we have 35 disabled veterans that hunted the month of September. And it was actually pretty incredible because they got to do things that they couldn't do. One of the guys was paralyzed from the chest down, one was paralyzed from the waist down, and they were donated track wheelchairs to put those guys in. And so anyway, a group of us got together up by my house and took dinner up to them one night. We had ham and baked beans and mac and cheese and brownies and yada, yada, yada. It was really nice. And then, and they got fresh eggs from my chickens. And so this was at elk camp, bow hunting.
Not all of them were disabled, some of them were disabled.
Yeah.
And in the track chairs, and then some of
Right,
them were
right.
just veterans. Yeah.
Right.
And some younger helpers. I'm sure.
Yeah, they weren't all disabled. Were
But they had, I think they had 32 guys there that were coming. like 7 or 8 per week, something like that. I stopped.
That's good.
So anyway, that, and then they had a 9/11 ceremony. There was about 25 of us there. And that was very emotional. And then they had veterans, and actually a couple of guys that were veterans from our fire department were there and spoke about their time in the service and so on and so forth. So it was, it was very nice, and I'm glad they got to do it. They also had a girl come and do horse whispering. And
Huh.
that was pretty emotional. And they set that up in my corrals. So anyway. So thanks to all the Canyon Creek ranchers, and thanks for spraying weeds so they could, you know, it was really, it was a kind of a community effort to get them through that. So, let's see. Prickly pears being graded today. Quick thought for the for past board members, I think it would be nice if we gave them a hat and a calendar. And I would deliver those to them or get that so we could get them. Do we agree?
I
Is that-
think it was good. We haven't seen the hats, or most of us
Oh.
guys haven't seen the hats.
Oh. Okay, so here's our hats. There's one. And here's one.
Nice.
And there's one. And here's the other one. With our new logo on them and Lewis and Clark County Weed District. So, anybody have any thoughts? Do we want to do that?
We can.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Sure.
Before because we do have our the new calendars, so, before they're all gone, we can certainly save.
Right, so I would
Save a
just,
few for you
Yeah.
before they're all gone.
and so, anyway, so anybody that wants a hat, what hat do you want?
Not the pink one.
So, anyway, everybody pick up a hat
Okay.
if you want one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judith Ann,
I forgot about those, what?
Go ahead.
Judith Ann, Candace Payne, hello. Here I am. Hey, I just want to make sure we don't, make sure everybody that actually is a former board member, do you have a real good list?
Well, I'm not going way back. I'm just going to Dave Birch and Joel Redding and
Dave Lewis,
Big Louis.
Dave Lewis and Steve Johns.
I think that's.
I thought I had 5 on my list, but
Orville.
Orville's the other one.
just don't want to have any hurt feelings out there.
Yeah, I don't think there would be. I think that's a good.
Pretty much it. It's a hat, not $1 million.
You're right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you again to Fast Signs, and then the bugs. I found on Blue Timber at Lindsay's, which is on the North Fork of the Little Prickly Pear, which is up the creek from the bridge where Christian found his. So anyway, I think that's it. I'm sorry, I took more than 5 minutes.
Yes, you did. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion items, for the 25 meeting work plan discussion. You guys wanna,
I just was hoping everyone would,
Homework.
yeah, exactly, homework,
Okay.
think about it, over the next month, same with the MWCA stuff, if you guys can take that home, think about anything you'd like to see for 2025, any grants that you know of, or, future goals that you want to bring to the board's attention, education, anything like that. And then as far as the MWCA nominations, if you, think of anyone you want to nominate, we'll discuss all this as action items next meeting.
did, you have any feelers, or has anybody asked you about a grant for projects?
No, I haven't had any. Well, Ed Callahan might be put in for another one,
Okay.
but that won't be as rough as
Right.
it was
The first.
doing that one in the midnight hour. I don't know if I'll do that again for somebody. That's thanks to his hard work, cause he did like 98% of the work on that. So he's the one that pushed that through, but I don't think if anybody needs help doing something like that, that would have been too short of a time frame to do that. So, but no, that's one thing we got on our list is to finish doing the reporting with Ed on that grant. And then I assume he's going to get ready to resubmit that, because I think he's got 1 or 2 additional landowners
Okay.
that would like to participate. So that's pretty cool. They did a lot of good work. Me and Alex went up there and did a drive around with them, and I think Greta was supposed to try to get a time to go up there with them as well. So,
Good.
but nothing new.
Okay.
But that recurring one though. So yes.
Good. Do you guys put that on the webpage by chance that there's grant available? Or-
I have not, but I am happy to add,
It wouldn't hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna sit down this fall, winter and go through because they sort of threw that at us at the beginning of the season was the whole new website. So
And I think too, the more that you get into doing spray days for especially newer people, if they're doing spray days, then they should look at maybe doing a cooperative grant,
yeah,
you know, putting that group together. Right? Doing that in those areas, especially if they're new. I know that you guys have had several grants up in that area, but
I was gonna do one, but I don't have the time to get to it. Maybe next.
not a passive torch to the end of a younger landowner out there to do that. You just participate as the.
Yeah. And then I put my thumb in the wood splitters.
Mm.
That was good.
okay, so items for next meeting, there seems to be quite a few
But
there. If you
Went very
guys,
well.
next meeting is November 6th. You'll be here. 1 o'clock. Melissa Maggio's coming, right? Okay, so we'll have a guest speaker. And then hopefully, maybe after the next board meeting, you're gonna go to that, right? To the MWC.
Yeah.
See if you can get the nominations sheet from them
Yeah.
again. And I think they have more of a form now that you can fill out, so you can get that maybe and
Yeah. we can
bring
do
it
that.
back for the next meeting,
Mhm.
so. I think it's important last year was really good because we were able to give it to Christian and plus Jade and Alex, and they both got awards. It was good, so. That was pretty fun to do. so.
Where is it this year? Great Falls.
It's in Great
Great
Falls, so
Falls.
Billings last year, wasn't
it was
Last
Billings.
year's billing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if there's any other thing, you guys think about, call Jade or email, text, that you'd like to see on the meeting. We'll just see how Melissa's thing goes and then go from there. And do the other stuff, get ready for
Dave,
discussion on the chair, vice chair nomination stuff again, so. Due to that.
I've been thinking about maybe that, each board member that, I mean, Stacy and I've been working really good up there, but like Bird's Eye, which is really where I represent, has kind of not been on my high priority list. And so I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be good if each board member picked an area that we could give some attention to in each one of our little groups, so that other people in other parts of the county aren't feeling like some places are getting too much attention and some other places aren't getting enough attention. I don't know if that's possible, but just a thought.
that kind of goes hand in hand with the other items for discussion. I wanted to talk about that also. I think that I would honestly like to see everybody in their respective area come up with a project plan, like, you know, Judith Lamb has done up in Canyon Creek area or whatever we have. I think it'd be great. I mean, you know, if you had something up in Wolf Creek or something, I'd be more than happy to come up and have a, if you guys have a spray day or something, and look at areas that maybe you're not, you know, focusing on your neighbor's property or, you know, anything that maybe will cause any issues. But maybe there's some state property or, you know, we've got BLM or whatever up there that needs to be addressed, and we can engage, you know, BLM or Forest Service or wherever, and just try to, I guess, be more proactive. I think it'd be great. And then when we have, you know, our monthly meetings, you know, what's the progress? What's the game plan? When are we gonna do it? You know, Lincoln, I mean, we've talked about Lincoln numerous times and trying to get back on track with some of that, because Lincoln is, I mean, for Lewis and Clark County, that's a problem area. You guys have been over, you've seen them, it's just right along the highway.
Mhm.
And then you get up in some of those side roads, it's crazy. But I think that's definitely something that we should entertain. While I'm speaking, the other deal, we talked about it earlier today, also the portion of Montana Avenue where we've got, you know, on the right-hand side, mainly out there, past the towers, all the way out to the Seaven Ranch, or where they've got their sheep facility, you know, right there. I mean, across from that new bridge, not Bridger Steel, but that steel place. I mean, the toad flax, or not the toad flax, the white top for early summer is just terrible, and the leafy spurge is just ungodly. And you know, guys, we're not doing the county any favor by just thinking it's gonna go away. And I'm not, and again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. When I talked to Alex about it, I said, you know, whose responsibility is that? Is that Lewis and Clark counties, or, and that's when he told me that that's DOT is, it's their job, and they've contracted with you guys.
Yeah.
And it's all a fun deal, I get it, but
Yeah.
man, we need to do something. 10 Mile, Dave, you drive by 10 Mile and on the queues there, and you've got it right there by that, you know, and you guys, over the last 5 years, you've heard me complain about the canal and the big path of the spurts right there that. And I don't know what they're spraying. Somebody sprayed it this year with something, but it's not taking it out. So we need to come up and I'm saying you, us, come up with a recommendation. Let's get all these chemical reps and say, we're dealing with something that's right close to water's edge. And I believe I told you that they had told me, you know, for a Period area that you could, this is a chemical rep at one of our conferences said, Duracor and Escort running them together in that high water area, and maybe it'll work on the canal bank. I don't know, but we need to figure it out, because when that stuff's dispersing, you know, when leafy spurge pops, it'll shoot at 15 feet right into the water in everybody's field, you know.
Yeah, 10 Mile is the whole corridor should be,
The whole thing. I mean,
Should be a damn project.
it's a problem. It's a problem area. And again, not, you know, the McHughes are my neighbors. I don't want to cause them any
right,
heartache or grief and have them mad at me for, you know,
but that's,
coming to you, but they need to take care of it. That's their responsibility. It's by law, right?
Mhm.
Where do we, this is what I'm saying. I mean, I mean, the parades, all this stuff is good. It's good for the community, everything, but let's get down to the nuts and bolts why we're here, right?
Well, and our spray day, Stacy and we worked really good together.
Yeah.
And we had 20 people. And if we could do that, you know, in other places, and all this other stuff's fun and frivolous, but it makes a point because there were people going, you know, whatever, but we still need to get our boots on the ground. That's what we need to work on. And it's, you know, it takes a little to pull it together, but it's all worth it. I mean, I think we made some impacts. I mean, and Stacy's been working all summer, you know, everywhere.
These,
Mr. Chair, Stacy, I did talk to HBID about getting that going. They have a new supervisor there, I believe. I can't remember his name, but he is new there too, and he's actually got out and got after John Simple, that's our contractor, to spray some of this stuff. So he did get out there and spray it. Again, like you said, I have no idea with what, but but I think we're gonna sit down and try to I would like to try to sit down, as the irrigation season finally slows down for them. I'm hoping to be
Yeah,
able to get
They
together.
shut the canal up on the
Yeah.
first and that's all.
So hopefully we can get together with them at some point in time to discuss some things. And then Eric Waldemar, for MDT is the guy that we are now working with. If you haven't met him, he's a 7-foot gentleman at the meeting, so he's sort of a hard guy to miss. But working with him on that and, we discussed the issue in the Montana Avenue and some of those, because some of those are actually irrigation ditches. I don't know when the last time they were used for irrigation. But like what I mean, like legitimately irrigation ditches in the MDT right away is sort of what it's labeled as. So, but to work with him on how we can mitigate those moving forward, because all the older gentlemen have retired, so we've sort of got a new crew between me and them. And then I'll actually sit down with Eric too and go over, we have a secondary road list, but it's not very in depth. I mean, it doesn't have the road that goes south right there by like Bighorn Rental going out to like that plant that's out there that sort of goes back into Montana City. The other one that's by Kemet that goes south over to Jefferson County there too, like those roads aren't on our list. The same thing as like what I'm thinking about too is like the road that goes between Costco and the tire place there that goes all the way to the helicopter. You know what I mean? Like that road, like there's a lot of roads. I don't know if they're being sprayed or not. And so like to try to actually like sit down with them and actually like go through our list versus just sort of the secondary list that we've been given. Like, are you guys spraying these roads? Are you not spraying them? And then like I said, now I finally have somebody to talk to, because I mean, I'm the one that hasn't sprayed that because I am not comfortable spraying. So in those areas, so I'm just gonna tell you that right now, like I haven't sprayed in those areas because a lot of times there's still water in it. The first couple of years I lived here, it was flooding. Which has caused a problem. But anyways, am trying to look at working with that. And I have been talking to chemical reps too on like what we can use in some of these areas. I may have found one. I used one out on Colorado Gulch too. That's sort of a sensitive area. With a,
On Dale's property.
yeah, or whatever.
Right there.
We have right there, right off Highway 12. We sprayed the right of way. We didn't spray into any of his property, but
Yeah, I had sprayed that probably 6-8 years ago and for the spurgeon, but it just continues.
anyways, so but I just to answer your question, like we did make some progress. I guess I didn't put that in my report, but we have made some progress in this winter. I hope to get together and work on my relationships with Eric on those and stuff like that. So.
And that's good. I mean, that ditch, that Montana Avenue, I mean, it's a huge borrow pit, and then you've got the canal irrigation, which is a little ways away from it. But even in that ditch, I mean, a guy should be able to, even on the pavement side of it, we should be able to knock that out or do something with that. I mean, it's a problem. You and I have talked about Green Meadow where Silver Creek crosses and you guys had said you did a release on that. So, and I asked Alex, I said, what are you seeing from that? It's continuing to get bigger. I know. Whatever, that's another big discussion, but I just think that it's imperative that we start hitting some of these areas. Addressing, and find, I wasn't aware that at the time that was your guys' responsibility, because I knew that DOT had Montana, but just areas of concern, and I again, my wife, I get called a weed nerd weekly because I'm cheap. All the needs, I'm cheap with them. I'm cheap. It's just. I drove up to the city county building today and I'm driving up Benton. And on the right-hand side, again, they got a walk path, then you got the borrow pit, and it's just loaded on that right now. Unbelievable, you know, and I'm like, this stuff needs to be taken care of, man.
What is the little white flower along the road going into the landfill? What's, God, my brain's just dead. It's got a little white flower on it and it crawls.
Bindweed?
Fine,
Bindweed,
thank
yeah,
you.
morning bar.
There you go. Yeah, and it's all over in there.
Oh,
I
which
just-
one?
By the transfer station.
Transfer
Oh.
station.
Oh, I sprayed that.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so happy.
By,
Do you
by,
know how many times I want to get out of my truck?
you're talking by transportation by
Up here.
Carol Call. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just sprayed that for him last week.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
I'm so.
And all the napweed.
I'm so happy.
Well,
Not that I got all of it, but.
and when you hit the tracks and going west on the railroad tracks, right there was just a mess forever. And again, I'm glad that you guys have got an agreement with the city now because
Yeah,
they're the
there's-
worst
there's a lot of
culprits.
stuff in the city.
And he's telling them.
Do we want to adjourn the meeting? We can certainly have,
Yeah.
we can certainly have
Okay.
a.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
Good
and-
discussions.
If you guys have anything else, like I say, send it in. We'll wait for the agenda to come out. Should be pretty full, next time.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, you're adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody.